This is a show that will blow your mind, but it might not. It all depends. Do you like breakfast and a book with a friend? Hey guys, spinning time. Spinning in the chair of life. Life is like a chair that spins. It spins around and round. Does life spin around? I mean, technically, we're on a spinning planet, a planet that's like through space, which you gotta admit is pretty freaking amazing. We are talking about stuff today. This is breakfast and a book with Swallow. Um, the breakfast is a very simple one. Couple of things. We're going on a quest today because we realized we're out of milk and eggs, so we gotta go do that. Then we also are going to our friend's house because we're gonna get tomatoes and grow them in the backyard like a grown up, which is pretty exciting. We're totally, that's right, gonna grow tomatoes. But we're not gonna talk to the people. We're gonna be from a distance. They're gonna leave the plants out. We're gonna put the plants up and put them in the car and drive away as fast as we can. So that was that one quest. Also, second thing I realized, I tried to eat a whole waffle for breakfast on Monday, like a whole waffle with slathered in peanut butter and strawberry preserves. Turns out that is too much food. I was full and I did not eat almost the rest of the day. So I'm eating half, and look at this. I put applesauce on my waffle. I thought, why don't I try applesauce? We have applesauce, and a waffle. So let's try applesauce and a waffle, huh? Is it weird? Yeah, probably. Does it taste good? Probably. Let's find out. Never had it. Have you had waffles and applesauce? Peanut butter? Yes, I know. It sounds weird. But you put peanut butter on bread. A waffle is basically bread with a little sugar. Mmm. Oh, yeah. It's good. My friend Candace says you put, just said, peanut butter? Yes. Peanut butter. I'm a very weird person. I like to try out different foods and see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, today, the peanut butter doesn't make it soggy. The applesauce does make it a little bit soggy. But these were pretty crisp waffles. So, it turns out okay. The book. And the mirrored thing, if you can read mirrorly, is Tehanu by Ursula K Le Guin. Ursula K Le Guin is probably one of the best, yet kind of, I wouldn't say she's unknown because she's pretty popular, but it just feels like she should be in the, like the, Tolkien, Gaiman type of popularity. Like I don't know. I feel like she is woefully underrated. She is one of the best writers on the planet, bar none. Super weird. I would almost describe her as like the Tom Robbins of fantasy. She's super impressive. But okay, so let's read the back of the book. Tehanu. Once she'd been a priestess, quest companion to a powerful mage, a student of high magic. Then she gave it all up to be a farmer's wife on Gaunt, content to lead a simple life. But Tanar was not born to live her days in peace away from great events. A dying wizard and an abused child were the first to call her back to the path she had abandoned. For the end of the adventure beckoned, and Tanar would be there along with the dragons, mages, and the young king himself to share in the unforgettable fate of the kingdom known as Earthsea. Um, the Earthsea trilogy is it may be top 5 of fantasy trilogies. I guess it's a little more than a trilogy, fantasy series of all time. Honestly, she's a brilliant writer. Her books, as you can see, aren't gigantic, which is a rarity in fantasy world. I love to write huge ass books, which I love to read, so that's fine with me. I'm gonna read. Normally, I like to open up to the middle of a book and read. I think with this book, I'm gonna open up right at the beginning. But when I'm looking for books, if you've watched these videos or you're watching this right now on YouTube, you know I like to open up to the middle of a book and read to see if I like an author. Because sometimes you go into a bookstore, you're like, I want to read somebody new, and I'm in the mood for a fantasy, and you look at the name or something like that, and then you go, okay, let's see what the writing's like, and you open up in the middle and you read. But for this one, I'm actually going to read right from the beginning. Actually, I'm going to read the front page just because that's awesome, and then I'll read a little bit from the fiery messenger. She saw the glitter of rust-black scales and the gleam of the long eye. She saw the red tongue that was a tongue of flame. The stink of burning filled the wind, as with a hissing roar the dragon, turning to land on the shelf of rock, breathed out a sigh of fire. Its feet clashed on the rock, the thorny tail writhing, rattled, and the wings scarlet, where the sun shone through them, stormed and rustled as they folded down to the mailed flanks. The head turned slowly. The dragon looked at the woman who stood there within reach of its scythe blade talons. The woman looked at the dragon. She felt the heat of its body. She'd been told that men must not look into dragons' eyes. Pretty intense, right? I mean, it's just, oh man, her writing's so good. Tehanu, the last book of Earthsea. A bad thing. After Farmer Flint of the Middle Valley died, his widow stayed on at the farmhouse. Her son had gone to sea, and her daughter had married a merchant of Valmouth, so she lived alone at Oak Farm. People said she had been some kind of great person in the foreign land she came from, and indeed the mage Ogion used to stop by Oak Farm to see her, but that didn't count for much, since Ogion visited all sorts of nobodies. She had a foreign name, but Flint had called her Goha, which is what they called a little white web-spinning spider on Gaunt. The name fit well enough, she being white-skinned and small and a good spinner of goat's wool and sheep fleece. So now she was Flint's widow, Goha, mistress of a flock of sheep and the land to pasture them, 4 fields, an orchard of pears, 2 tenants' cottages, the old stone farmhouse, under the oaks and the family graveyard over the hill where Flint lay earth in his earth. See? Candace said I need a big red tongue right about now. I mean, I gotta be honest, it's nice having Ariel around during the apocalypse. At least we get to be together. It's pretty great. My friend Alex said I started earlier than normal. Yeah, we have a quest to go on. We are going to go pick up tomato plants to plant in our backyard. And I think we're also getting some meat products. Can't turn down meat products, right? Basically, Ursula, this is the tale of Tanar, who has been basically one of the main characters through the Earthsea Cycle, but she is super powerful mage, super smart. She has a little Vicky Reynolds, my friend just wrote a super sweet fantasy book. Stephanie Barron's called The Evolutionaries Power Divided. So good. It's a very cool world. Okay, I will check it out. I'll read it, and then maybe 2 weeks I'll do Stephanie's book if I can pick it up. I don't know how much money I have, but I'll see if I can pull it off. Maybe with that sweet stimulus check, I can buy a person's book. And what would be better than taking the stimulus check and giving a little money to some artists, right? I love that idea. Of course, some of it will have to be saved so I can pay my rent because that's life, guys. But Ursula K Le Guin, I mean, I don't know if there is much better of a writer. She's so unique, paints a picture. It's super fast paced, as you can see by how I was reading. The Wind Key looked at her as if he saw a very distant storm cloud on the uttermost horizon. He even raised his right hand in the hint, the first sketch of a wind-binding spell, and then lowered it again. He smiled. "Don't be afraid, my lady," he said. "Roke and the art magic will endure. Our treasure is well guarded." "Tell Kellison that," she said, suddenly unable to endure the utter unconsciousness of his disrespect. It made him stare, of course. He heard the dragon's name, but it did not make him hear her. How could he, who had never listened to a woman since his mother sang him his last cradle song, hear her? "Indeed," said Lebanon, "Kellison came to Roke, which is said to be defended utterly from dragons, and not through any spell of my lord's, for he had no magery then. But I don't think, Master Windkey, that Lady Tanara was afraid for herself." Basically, it's very female-driven, and it's Vicky said she'll send it to me. Woohoo! ronswallow@gmail.com is my email. But as you can see, she also has a feminine-driven novel. It's I would go so far as to say it is definitely has a feminist vibe to it. So I cannot suggest this book any more than like Terry Brooks, Marion and Zimmer Badley, Mercedes Lackey, Tolkien, Ursula K Le Guin. That's how good she is. She's won every friggin' award that you can win. I mean, like literally every word. Like, okay, this is a great thing that somebody said. Ursula Le Guin is among the half-dozen most respected American writers who regularly set their narrative in the future to force a dialogue with the here and now, a dialogue generally called science fiction. She's also a much-loved writer. That's the New York Times book review. It just kind of gives you an idea that she is perhaps one of the best fantasy writers that has ever lived. So do yourself a favor, read more books in general. I know I look very tired. That's because I got up and immediately made this stupid waffle that is delicious with applesauce on it, and tea. And then came to talk to you guys. I hope I'm more entertaining you for the sweet Coronapocalypse. Alex says, "I'm just going to have to borrow all your books, apparently." Yes, I have a lot of really, really good books, Alex. I love reading, and you can borrow any of them. There's some there, and there's some in that thing, which is dope. And then there's another bookshelf full of books. And you can read all of the books. If you are in LA and you want to borrow some of my books, you let me know. I'll put it like on top of the mailbox or something. You can come by and grab one. I will be your personal library. If you live far away, I will not mail my books to you. They're my books. I am not possessive of much. I don't really, like collect a ton of stuff, but books I keep and I reread because I love rereading. In fact, I am probably going to find the rest of the Earthsea trilogy and reread that after Earthsea Cycle, I should say, after I read the book that my friend Vicky suggested. So, like I said, get out there, support all. I hate waffles. I hate when waffles are stupid. Yeah, I know, man. They're so like, I don't understand things. I'm not smart. I don't have a brain. I can't speak. Unless, of course, you lived in Piers Anthony's world, Xanth. Then the waffles might talk if you have the right superpower, or if they were magicked on up. So, anyways, I'm just babbling to you guys about waffles and this book, Tehanu by Ursula K Le Guin. Do yourself favor, check out all of her books. You will not be disappointed. Like I said, during this quarantine, this is a perfect time to take an opportunity to get some reading done, do some art, draw something, make a silly video about books. My roommate Alex says she owns more books than any other single thing. Probably more than me. It's definitely possible. And she's read the vast majority. Oh, so hey, maybe we can switch books back and forth. So yay, good job, Alex. I love that. Free comedy nights and a borrowed book. Yeah, that's right. Also, I am gonna have comedy nights every other Friday. So this Friday is an on one. I did an hour the last time, and honestly, it seemed a bit much. So I'm probably gonna do like 30 minutes this Friday night. If you have not seen my comedy before, then you're going to have a great time. If you have seen my comedy before, you might hear some jokes repeated, but you also might not, because I'm also writing some new jokes. That's right, guys, writing new jokes, because I have time to write new jokes. Anyways, lots of babbling going on. Be out there supporting your artist friends and being artistic yourself. Even if you don't think you're artistic, sit down and draw some stick figures doing something funny. Why not? Watch a video on YouTube on how to write a script or how to program. Learn something new. This is the opportunity. You have a chance to do that stuff. So do yourself a favor and do it. Yeah. So if you liked what I'm doing, my roommate says the repeated jokes are still funny though. So thank you. I am still funny. That's guys, I gotta admit to you, I'm a pretty funny dude. I know today we talked about some serious stuff and read some books, but sometimes I say the funny things out loud, and then the peoples, they laugh at them. I took a pause during that to drink tea. I think it was a good pause. Sometimes when you pause, anyways, you guys get what I'm doing here. If you like what I do and you want to support me, you can send me a couple bucks through GoFundMe. No, through Venmo at Ron-Swallow, or on my PayPal, which is ronswallow@gmail. Like I said, support all your friends out there. Oh yeah, by the way, Vicky Remmel, who is one of the persons who has been who was commenting, also has her own book. It's called The Bipolar Bear, I want to say. It's a talk about depression and bipolar things, and just basically mental illness. And it's done in such a way that children can understand it, because sometimes we need to talk to our kids about that sort of thing. So you should check out Bipolar Bear. It is freaking awesome, and Vicky's a great author. So do yourself a favor and go check that out. I believe there's also some art in that as well. I have not been able to pick up the book, but I'm going to do that soon. So yay! So now we got 2 books. You can look up the book that Vicky posted about on the comment section, and you can get Vicky's book. So thank you for listening to another episode of Breakfast and a Book with Swallow. I'm Ron Swallow. Bye.